Okay, so today we are going to revise the EIGRP and I'm going to introduce more things in classic mode of EIGRP. Okay, so it's EIG classic mode. Which is version 2. Clear? So let's discuss it in some couple of minutes. Okay, EIGRP stand for Enhanced Interior
Enhanced
Gateway
gain.
Routing Protocol, right? It's an IGP protocol. Clear? It use the multicast address. Okay. It use some AD value. Okay. And the other thing, it's like there were some messages. Remember messages in EIGRP.
Hello message.
Okay. Yeah. Hello.
Hello update query. Reply acknowledgement.
It's update, right? Query.
Reply acknowledge.
Reply. Acknowledge. There are some two messages also. Clear? I'll discuss. There is a condition of stuck in active. Okay, there is a condition of stuck in active. So there are two more messages: stuck in active query, stuck in active reply. Okay, so what happened when we perform Nevership? Okay, so first we'll check the hello message. Okay, uh, in EIGRP, hello, query, and reply. These three messages are acknowledged message. These three messages are acknowledged message. Right? What is the mean of it? If I share these prefixes, oh sorry, these messages, what
We'll
I
get
will
acknowledgement.
expect? I will
We'll get
expect
an acknowledgement.
acknowledge. Okay. So EIGRP is layer 3 protocol, right?
Yes.
If it's layer 3 protocol, then what it will use on layer 4, TCP or UDP?
TCP.
What it will use on layer 4, TCP or UDP?
Yeah, TCP UDP works at layer 4.
And
For
it's a
EIG.
layer 3 protocol. So what it will use?
Because we are using acknowledgement, right? TCP.
Dude,
Yes.
suppose your data generate on the network layer.
Okay.
Why it will go on layer 4?
Yeah.
It's not going for shopping. Your data is generated on which layer?
Yeah, network
Layer
layer.
3, network layer.
Okay.
So it will
It'll
hand
go
over your data to whom? Layer 2?
data link layer. Layer 2.
Layer 1.
Layer
You
1.
can forward the destination, it will receive on layer 1, then it
Layer
will
1, layer 2,
hand
layer
over to
3.
layer 3.
Yes.
There is no concept of layer 4.
Yes.
So what it will use? Neither TCP, neither UDP.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Not
Yes.
TCP, not
Not
UDP.
UDP.
So, okay, now please let me know, EIGRP is reliable protocol or unreliable protocol? I'm not using TCP or UDP.
Still, it's a reliable protocol.
Okay, to make it reliable, what we just use, we use a protocol.
RTP.
Very good.
Okay.
RTP.
Yeah.
Just to make it reliable.
Reliable.
Reliable transmission protocol. Okay, because here we are not going to use TCP. Because TCP provide the reliability. TCP, sorry, it's TCP. TCP is the only protocol which provide you the reliability.
That's in
Because
layer 4.
why are using in the TCP to provide the reliability? There is a concept of
Three-way handshake. Yeah.
Brian, do you have any idea about three-way handshake? Brian,
Yes, sir.
how it works?
Yes, sir. I don't understand how it works.
You don't know.
So that I have that RTP. It's a kind of protocol without UDP or TCP.
EIGRP.
Yeah, I mean like it sends messages without UDP or TCP, right?
Right. Because it's a layer 3 protocol and TCP UDP work on layer 4. That means all the data of the EIGRP, or we can say all the messages of EIGRP will generate on which layer? Layer 3.
Oh.
Okay. So it's not going to use the layer 4 protocol. Why it will use the layer 4 protocol? Why? There is no concept.
Oh, yeah. Even when you try to ping works on ICMP layer 3.
ICMP is a different thing.
Yeah.
Might be. It could be your interpretation. ICMP is reliable protocol or not?
It's not reliable.
ICMP. No, ICMP works UDP.
It's not reliable.
It's not.
It's not reliable.
Yeah, ICMP is a UDP protocol.
What is the concept behind the ICMP? Why we generate the ICMP? Why we use ICMP? Why we make the ICMP?
Yeah, to generate like
It's send and reply.
no, there are a lot of things are there. When you try ICMP works at layer 3 to generate. If, for example, when you try to ping, if you're not able to reach destination, it will generate an error message back to the source. So there are different types of errors. ICMP error codes will be there.
Yes. Great.
Echo
Great.
destination unreachable, destination net unreachable, TTL expired, like that.
Now you got my point. Okay.
Because it provides no reliability.
No, it's not provided.
So it's a
Okay.
UDP.
So what is the TCP? How the TCP three-way handshake work?
Initially, we have a client and server. When
Okay.
client is
Good.
initiating,
Yeah.
when client is initiating a request, it'll in TCP header we have a SYN packet. So it will set this SYN
Satya,
packet.
can you please hold for a second? There is
Yeah.
an urgent call. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry to take your time. Let's start it again. Okay, so we were discussing about
TCP.
TCP and chip. Suppose there is your client and there is a server.
Okay.
Suppose it's your HTTP server, HTTPS.
HTTP. Yeah.
Okay, so what happened? Suppose the client want to perform a communication with HTTP server, HTTPS server.
Yes.
What happened? It will
Send a SYN packet. SYN
send a TCP packet,
flag will set to 1, and the
and the
TCP
SYN flag
SYN
would be
1. SYN flag.
okay. It will use a source port as a random number. It's like 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4. And
Any
set
random
the destination port as
443 HTTPS, right? 443.
444. Here, server will receive this SYN flag and
Acknowledges.
it's depend on the server side.
Yeah.
Might be it's busy or not able to provide you the services. Or might be there is no service enabled on the server side as HTTPS. So as we said, TCP is your reliable protocol. That means it will provide you a reply, any kind of
Yes.
reply. Might be I'm not able to provide you service, or I'm able to provide you service. It will reply to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So if case it's free and able to provide you the service and services are available on that site. So what it will do, it will give you an
Acknowledgement. SYN plus ACK.
yes, TCP SYN plus
ACK.
ACK. It will use source port as
Source port 443.
443.
destination port
1, 2, 3, 4. Random port.
here. So here client will receive SYN plus ACK. That means what is the mean of it? The our peer is ready to provide me the services. Now what I need to do, I need to acknowledge my server that yes, I'm waiting for you. Clear
Yeah.
to you guys?
Yes, yes, got it.
Brian, any
Yes,
doubt?
I'm getting. Yes, sir, no.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
how the RTP work? How the RTP provide the reliability? You need to understand these things. Okay. Let's check how they perform the network shift first.
So RTP uses UDP or TCP?
Let me complete first, then you will understand how the EIGRP provides the reliability.
Okay.
Just wait for a minute. Everything will come. Okay. R1 and R2. Okay. Suppose between the R1 and R2 I'm using 12 network, it's like 12.1.1.1.
Okay.
.1 IP over here and .2 IP over here.
Hmm.
Okay. Suppose there is a prefix running like 10.1.1.1. Sorry, 10.1.1.0. Let's take it as 10.1.1.0 over here. Okay. Let's talk about the routing table of. God bless you. It's like
Thank you.
R1 12.1.1.0, which is why I suppose it's like a 0 by 0. Directly connected by using which interface? 0 by 0. There would be some another prefix information like 10.1.1.0 prefix information, which is connected via suppose loop button. Okay. If I talk about the routing table of the R2, there would be some entry like there is a prefix of 12.1.1.0, which is connected via using which interface of 0 by 0. That's it. That's it. Okay. Now I just enable the EIGRP1 over here and EIGRP1 over here. Here. Okay. Color. and EIGRP one overview. Clear. Now what happened? I just enable the EIGRP process on these interfaces. So first they start sharing the hello message. They will just share what? Hello message with each other. After hello, they will perform neighborship. Suppose the neighbor table of R1, it's like my neighbor is whom? 12.1.1.2 is my neighbor. If I talk about the R2, R2 will assume that there is a neighbor of 12.1.1.1. Okay, now what happened? After sharing the hello message, or we can say after performing the neighborship, what the router do? Router share an update message. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So suppose R1 shared an update message, and this message would be unicast, called as null update. Okay, so it's an null update. In the null update, okay, it would share the null update unique. It would be shared as unicast. Okay, there would be some flag information, and if I talk about the flag information, there would be set one of init bit. There is a initiate flag which would be set as 1. Okay, now what the R2 will do, R2 will share its own null update. What the R2 will do, R2 will share its own null
Null update. Both R1 and R2 will share null updates, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It would be also unicast. Okay, but with the same update, it will share acknowledgement also. Initiate flag, and it will share acknowledge also as three-way handshake. Okay, now what the R1 will do? R1 will share the acknowledgement. Clear to you guys? It's like three-way handshake.
Okay. Okay. So if R1 is sending an update, okay, so we
Null
have a
update.
sequence number
Yes.
and acknowledgement number. Let's take
Yes.
sequence number is
Yes.
4 and acknowledge is 5. When R2 is sending an update, the sequence number will be 6.
Like no, it's not like this. Do you know how the TCP use sequence number and acknowledgement number?
Yeah.
There are
Yes.
some information like what would be the NAT sequence number, what would be the sequence number regarding the acknowledgement I want to receive. It's not like I'm going to increase. Many persons take it wrongly, but there are the information what on which sequence number, or we can say on what number of acknowledgement I am expecting from your side. I'm going to tell you, if suppose I'm sharing A, that regarding that A, what kind of acknowledgement number I'm expecting, I will share these information also in TCP flag. But it's not a proper three-way handshake. Okay, so you can verify it, check it. We can use GNS.
I did it.
It's your CCI topic.
Sequence number 4 or 5.
There will be sequence number. but not going to increase it. I'll acknowledge on the same sequence number. It is what I'll show you. Okay, suppose this is my topology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's configure it and verify the things. Then from Monday,
Hmm.
I think it's today's Friday, right?
Yes, today
Yeah,
Friday.
from Monday we'll start named mode. Then maybe Tuesday EIGRP topic would be finished.
Okay, super. After that, OSPF.
After that OSPF.
Okay, super.
Then we'll come on STP, MSTP, RSTP. Then we'll come on high availabilities.
BGP.
Yeah, sure, BGP. BGP.
OSPF and BGP mostly using in Dell
BGP.
in escalation level. I mean, because I know very well, right? Yeah, AGRP mostly Cisco's are using it.
And we are bundling the core and NRC. So we'll discuss in MPLS also with the
Hmm.
BGP. So we'll discuss about BRF. Means first I'm going to cover your routing part.
Hmm. Okay, okay.
Interface of 0 by 0. So interface of 0 by 0. Let's configure the IP address 12.1.1.1. This interface. To the interface of 0 by 0. 12.1.1.2. Here, let's come to the R1. Over here I'm using some loopback light. There is no loopback one? There it is. Let's verify on R2. The IP address I configured over here is 12.1.1.2. Okay, now let me do one thing. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to enable the what?
AGRP.
Yeah,
AGRP.
very good. When you are available, it's it sounds really good. Most of the time you are on silent mode. So I'm going to use router AIGRP. Now suppose I'm using the AS number is 1.
One. Mm-hmm.
Router
Router AGRP.
EIGRP. Okay, here what I'm going to use the network command is 0.0.0.0. You'll see R1 will start. What it will start? It will sharing the hello message.
Yeah.
Many of person will tell you we use the network command many of the person could be tell you like network command is used to advertise the prefixes. No, it's wrong. Okay, like suppose what I can do, I can use the network command over here like 12.1.1.1 with wildcard mask 0.0.0.0. What it represent? R1 will think, R1 will check all the bits which having zero value. First octet 12, second octet 1, third octet 1 and fourth octet 1. Where it's running. It will match all the prefixes. All the
Prefixes.
octets value. Complete prefixes. So it will find out like where it's running. Over here. Here we are using 12.1.1.1. Suppose I'm using the network command or the R2. The same network command over here like this. So what the R2 will think? Where it's running. Is there any prefixes running like 12.1.1.1? No. So it's not going to run the EIGRP or here. Clear? So what is the use of network command? To advertise the prefix in EIGRP. Now you can check. Suppose I'm using no. Okay. I'm using the command no over here. Clear? And you can verify it like show interface F0 by 0. Show IP interface F0 by 0. Here you will see it's not a part of any multicast address. There is no information like this.
Okay.
But when I enable the EIGRP process over here, like you can say show IP interface EIGRP. Show IP EIGRP interface. There is no interface. But when I advertise the prefix, or we can say when I just first come to the EIGRP process router EIGRP shows 1, right? So I'm going to use the network command like 12.1.1.1 with wildcard mask 0.0.0.0. It's a wildcard mask. Okay. So
Please,
yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So in which in real world, in best practice in real world to implement EIGRP using the network, you say using the network is to advertise the routers in EIGRP now?
Yes.
So
Actually,
using
it depends what kind of information you have. You just know about the prefix information, like which prefixes we have running on this interface. That means how you will advertise, or we can say how you will enable the EIGRP process over here by using the network information. But suppose you know which IP is running over here. You just know which IP is running over here. You can use that IP also. Why? Because you know, if you know the
my
IP.
question, my question is which network is best to use? Is it to use like what you are using 12.1.1? Then since all the bits have been occupied, so is it best to use this type of command you are using, or to use the network and the wildcard bits?
The best practice is using the IP with the wildcard mask.
Okay.
Okay, but if you
Yes.
know about it, might be you are using the same command or the R2. There is no interface, or we can say there is no network like this. The configured over the R2 was 12.1.1.2, not 12.1.1.1. So you need to know first what is your topology, what kind of information you have. So suppose here I am using the command network 12.1.1.1 like this. Here you can see it will start sharing the hello message. You can see over here sharing the EIGRP hello message in every 5 seconds. Clear? You
Okay.
can verify it to show IP EIGRP interface. So you can check F0 by 0 is enabled as EIGRP. So even you can verify it like do show IP interface F0 by 0. Now it will become the part of multicast address. It's just join the multicast address. this interface.
Okay.
You can see
When
over
you
here.
configure
When
the
we enable the EIGRP process on interface,
EIGRP.
that interface will become the part of that multicast address. It will join that group.
Multicast group. Okay.
Yes, it will join that
Yes.
multicast group. Now clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any doubt? No?
No.
Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to enable the EIGRP over the R2 also. Okay. Okay. There are some more interfaces on R1 which we need to advertise in EIGRP, or we
Yeah.
can say we must enable the EIGRP process on that interfaces also. So for that, like router EIGRP1, what I can do, I can use the network command like 10.1.1.1 with the wildcard mask 0.0.0.0. Like network command 2.1 and 3.1. Clear? Now, what I use, network command 10.1.1.1
One.
with that wildcard mask 0.0.0.0.
So it's gonna match all
Another
the
10.1.1.2.1 with 0.0.0.0. 10.1.3.1 0.0.0.0. So suppose R1 and R2 become the neighbor. They just perform the neighborship. Clear? Now please let me know, or it's a question for you guys in update message.
Mm-hmm.
What information R1 will advertise? Like prefix 10.1.1.1 with CIDR value 32.
Yes.
10.1.2.1 with CIDR value 32.
32. Yes.
10.1.3.1 with CIDR value 32.
Yes.
Like this, or like 10.1.1.0 with CIDR value 24.
Not 24.
10.1.2.0 with CIDR value 24. 10.1.3.0 with CIDR value 34. It's your option A, it's your option B.
Option A.
Brian?
Option A.
So
It's
both of
option
you
A.
are going for A.
Yes.
Yes.
Now my answer is very good. You know about the very good? What is the story behind the very good?
No.
Actually, okay, let me tell you a story. Once a time there was an interview. I was in interview in. Do you know about C dot?
C
Okay,
dot.
I'm not going to use the name of the organization. Okay, so there was an person which was having more knowledgeable. He was like dual or triple CCI and having much more knowledge and much more experience in the networking field. He
Okay.
just asked me some question and asked me, is could be there some more scenario regarding the same? I just answer is no. Because many person could be confident, many could be overconfident. That time
Mm-hmm.
I was overconfident. So I replied as no, sir. That's the only scenario. You can do this. You can achieve your task like this. And he replied me,
Very good.
very good. Okay. And I was very impressed that time. And he just asked me much more personal question also. What you
Okay.
do and how much your experience, how you just, what are you doing in your current scenarios, what kind of task you just achieved, like many more personal question. And it was like, he's just fan of me. Like I was just thinking like the selection is done. And you know what? Still I'm waiting for the call.
Is that? Oh.
Okay, so from that, I just remember that's very good. Very good doesn't show you like you are correct. Might be something you need to be updated in you.
Yes.
Okay, so let's verify it. Let's come to the R2. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to enable the router
Router
EIGRP
GRP.
process, which is
Okay.
one, and the network command. I'm using 0.0.0.0. Let's leave it. Suppose I'm using 12.1.1.2 with wildcard mask 0.0.0.0.
Okay.
Well, perform the never chip.
Yeah.
You can verify there are some prefixes of 10 to show IP route.
Yeah.
And how I'm receiving the prefixes by using the CIDR value.
No, it's still giving 10.1.1.0.
Yes. Okay. So let's verify it. Let's check out the messages. Let's come to the this video.
Why? But we are using. Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay. Very good. Please ask.
So here, when you're advertising the network command, right? So you gave 10.1.1.1.
What I tell you, what was the use of network command?
To advertise the routers,
No.
EIP.
To advertise the prefix.
No.
Advertise
I
the
tell you to enable the routing
Routing.
process on the interfaces.
Yeah.
Okay. So what the router do? Router will think where that prefixes is running
Yeah.
and enable the routing process. So what it will do, it will just enable the routing process on that interfaces, and when it enable the routing process on that interfaces, it will check the how it's installed in my routing table, like 10.1.1.0 is installed via CIDR value 24. Why using which interface? Loopback 1. And when I enable the EIGRP process over here, I will advertise this like this. Clear to you guys?
Mm.
Suppose in its routing table will show you a directly connected network of 10.1.1.0.
Yes.
Why using which interface? Loopback 1. 10.1.2.0. Loopback 2. 10.1.3.0. Loopback 3. 12.1.1.0. F0 by 0. What happened when I just use the network command like this? 12.1.1.1 with wildcard mask 0.0.0.0.
0. Okay.
Now what the R1 will do, R1 will check how many 0 are there. All octets are 0. All the 4 octets are 0. That means I will check complete 4 octet. 12.1.1.1. On which interface I am running this? 12.1.1.1 is running over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I will do, I will just advertise this this interface in EIGR.
Okay.
That means I just enable the EIGRP process on that interface. Okay, suppose I just use the network command like 10.1.1.1 with same wildcard mask. Then what the R1 will check? R1 will check the complete IP address where it's configured. It's configured on L1. So what I will do, I will enable the EIGRP process over here also. Okay, now it's time to advertise the network. Just suppose they just become the neighbor. Now it's time to advertise the prefix. So what the R1 will do, R1 will generate an update message, and in the update message it will check which interface advertise in EIGRP, F0 by 0 and L1. The interfaces running with EIGRP, L1 and F0 by 0, only 2 interfaces. So what the network running on that interface? It's 10.1.1.0 with CIDR value 24 and 12.1.1.0 with CIDR value 24. So I will use that prefixes in my update message. Clear to you guys?
Wow, it's complicated, huh?
It's not complicated. It's so much easy.
So, but we use all the bits in the network.
Bits.
For for the interface where you have the network 12.1.1, then it occupies the whole wildcard mask.
Wildcard mask is used to identify how many bits need to check. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Okay, yeah, yeah. So wildcard mask used to check how many bits to identify. Here we put 4 zeros, which means
yes,
/32. Only one IP address in that range 10.1.1 will gonna advertise that
yes,
prefix alone.
yes, yes.
For example, if before R1 we have a LAN which we have a LAN and which is a 10.1.0 network. Okay, but we are advertising only 10.1.1.1. Okay, if we have anything which is like 10.1.1.2 network, that gonna ping from R2 to that
No,
10.1.1.2.
no, no, dude. No. Because it
Sorry,
will not advertise that prefix. It will not advertise that prefix.
but in the R2 routing table, we have 10.1.1.0, right?
Okay. In the R2's routing table,
We have 10.1.1.0 network.
10.1.1.0, and behind the R1, you are using a new loopback like
1.1.2.
10.1.1.2. You cannot advertise it over here because I just use a loopback like 10.1.1.1 with CIDR value 24. How you can use that prefix? It's not possible.
No, no, no. This is not one. Not this question.
But
No,
I can
let's take it before R1. We have a switch.
before R1, I just use a switch.
Switch. Okay, you have three VLANs.
Okay, I just have some three VLANs.
Okay, so every network is 10.1.1.0 network,
It's like
10.1.2.0.
10.1.1.0,
Yeah,
10.1.2.0,
10.1.2.0, 10.1.3.0.
10.1.3.0. Okay,
So if you enable the routing, okay,
I'll
so
just
if you
enable
give
the
the
routing.
network command on the router, okay,
Okay,
so when you enable the EIGRP process,
okay,
so it will share all the prefix information because we are giving us network 10.1.1.0, right?
yes,
So from the R2, any network from the R2, anyone can be able to ping to any network, anyone, any host in the VLAN
yes,
10.
yes, yes.
But we are advertising the network command of 10.1.1.1, which
Yes,
is what is that wildcard mask of 000, which is /32.
yes,
So only that particular, for example, if VLAN 10 IP address is 10.1.1.1. So from R2, we are able to ping to VLAN 10, but whatever the devices in that,
even
you
you know
got my.
what? Even you
Hmm.
cannot uh, mm, draw your topology.
Okay.
You know, like uh, your question is like in just air. First, draw your question. What you want to say. Suppose you are using a switch. There is no concept to take a switch. You can use some loopback as I used
Okay.
over here. Just suppose these are the loopbacks are connected via the switch. Okay. Here you are using the loopbacks 10.1.1.1, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Here I am using 10.1.2.1. Here I am using 10.1.3.1. Then what I just do, I just enable the EIGRP process over here. EIGRP
Okay.
process over here, EIGRP process over here. Just to just to run the EIGRP process over here, what I can use the complete command like network
Mhm.
10.1.1.0, okay, or I can use 10.1.1.1 with wildcard mask 0.0.0.0. Both method would be work as same. Why? Now you need to understand what is the concept of the network command. Network
Yeah.
command just
Fine.
identify where the network is running, and it will identify on which interface it's running. It will identify that it's running on my loopback 1. So I will enable the AGRP process on that interface. Okay, on that interface, what kind of network is running? I will advertise that network in the update message. Now clear to you? No?
Okay.
Okay, let me explain. When are you feeling bored? Brian, got it?
Yes, sir, I got it.
Okay, then explain me. What you got it? How you got it? What was the concept behind the network command? Please let me know.
The concept behind the network command is to enable the routing process on the interface.
Okay, very good.
So
To identify where the network is running and try to enable the routing process on that interface.
And it will check what the network is
Wonderful.
running on that interface. On that network would be
yes,
advertised via update message.
update message.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So let's come to the point. There's so many confusion in you. We need to upgrade your mind. That's why we are studying CCNP. Okay, so here you can check. There is an update message. Okay. After performing the neighborship, what they will do? They will share some update message, unicast update. That's called as null update. Right? In the null update, there you can see there is a sequence number, acknowledge 0, and there are some flags. Okay. In the flag bits, there is init, which is set as 1,
Yeah.
as I told you. Okay. Now, what the R2 will do? R2 will share an acknowledgement regarding the same. So it will share its null update. Okay. And it will use an acknowledge sequence number, and it will share acknowledgement also.
Yeah, even in my scenario, okay. Can you go to that null update of from R1 to R2? Can you see the sequence number?
Yes.
This is from R1, yeah.
Might be there a sequence number. Yes.
Sequence number. Yeah, sequence 1 and acknowledge 0.
And it will share acknowledge with the updates. But there is
Sequence number is 1.
not,
No.
might be
Yeah.
some other other null update will be there like this. Here I am sharing what? And
Sequence 1,
sequence
acknowledgement. Yeah.
number 1 and acknowledgement 1. That means I'm sharing, I'm initiating the update and acknowledging the same. It's like 3-way handshake. And what the another router will do? Another router will share an acknowledgement by using hello message. Now they are sharing update messages really fast. Here you can verify it. When suppose there is a sequence number and acknowledgement number. There you can find the thing like, yeah, in the hello message, it's acknowledge 1. Okay, so it's like 3-way handshake, but that it's not in sequence. So
yeah, that's what it's not in sequence. But in my case, even I tried it.
okay.
So first from R1 to R2, okay, the null update was sent. Sequence number is 4, acknowledgement is 5. From R1 to R2, sequence number is 4, acknowledgement is 5, null update. And another null update from R2 to R1, sequence number is 6, acknowledgement is 0.
It's not in sequence actually. Might be some technical issues.
So what I expected is like we have 4 and 5, right?
Yes.
Sequence 4 and sequence 5. Sequence
4 is your sequence
number of R1. 5
acknowledgement
is the
number is 5. That means I just receive an update from with sequence number 5. That's why I'm sharing the update message. That's why I'm sharing the acknowledge on 5.
Okay, the next would be sequence number 6 only, right?
It's depend. Yeah, but in scenario, you can assume next would be 6.
6. So I got that 6 here.
So I hope you understand how it provides the reliability before sharing the prefix information. Okay, and you can verify over here also. Suppose I just captured again and it will show me the,
Mm,
if it show me the old results, then I can show you
I understand this. Yeah.
how the prefix are sharing. Might be it's showing me
It
old
will share
result.
first
Yeah,
update, null
it's my
update,
old
and
result. So what
mhm,
we can do, we can verify
reinstall.
over here. There are some update messages.
Okay.
There are some prefixes of 10.1.1.0. You can see the CIDR value is 24. 2.0 with CIDR value 24. 3.0 with CIDR value 24. Now clear to you guys how the update message share, null update, and each and everything in Classic. Now another thing, what the router share, how the router share the prefix information. So let's again start the version.
Same thing.
Sorry.
చూసావా ఎలా ఉందా ఇప్పుడు?
Let's come over here. It's okay. To verify this update. Sharing some internal route information.
Mhm.
Okay. And here you can see some prefix length. Okay, the destination 10.1.1.0 which I'm sharing. There are some metric value to calculate the metric I'm sharing, like reliability is 255, which is 100% reliable. This is like MTU, halt, this is like delay, this is like bandwidth. Okay, so I'm sharing some information regarding that prefix. Okay, so actually what I'm sharing, so you need to understand this thing. Router generate an topology table. Okay, EIGRP maintain another table which is your topology table. And what is it?
Topology table. Once the update message, it will share all the successor and feasible successor.
Yeah, there will be some successor information and feasible successor
Feasible
information,
successor.
right? So to
Yes.
show IP
IP route.
EIGRP
IP
topology,
route. Yes.
you can verify in the topology table there are some prefixes like 10.1.1.0, 12.1.1.0, 12.1.2.0, sorry, 10.1.2.0 and 10.1.3.0. What I'm going to do, let's come to the router EIGRP1 process, and what I'm going to do, use the command no network 10.1.1.1 with wildcard mask 0.0.0.0. Let's check the topology table again. Do show IP EIGRP topology. Here you will see there will be no information regarding the prefix 10.1.1.0 again. Let's check it. Is there any prefix information in the topology table regarding the 10.1.1.0? But if you can check over here, there is a information regarding that network information. What I just do, I just disable the EIGRP on which interface loopback one. That means this is no part of EIGRP. This is no longer the part of EIGRP process. So what happens when we advertise a net interface in EIGRP process, that would be come in topology table. the interfaces advertised in EIGRP process. Like suppose on R1 we have some interface like loopback 1, loopback 2, loopback 3 and F0 by 0. I just enable the EIGRP or loopback 2 on F0 by 0. Suppose I just enable over here also. So what the R1 will do, R1 will check which network is running on that prefixes. So that prefixes which are running on that interface will come in topology table. Like on R2, the network running like 10.1.2.0. On loopback 3, 10.1.3.0. On F0 by 0, 12.1.1.0. These prefixes are running. That will come in topology table. And what the R1 do, R1 share the update message, and in the update message it just share the successor information in its topology table. Clear to you guys?
No, the update.
In the update it will share only successor information
Successor.
in its topology table.
Successor.
Yes.
The list part now. List part.
Yes. Best.
No, after hello message, all the prefix information will be get shared via the update message.
And you know what? It's not like complete routing table it's sharing. It share actually. If I talk about how actually update message going to share, the update message, in the update message router will share the successor information in its topology table.
What about the feasible successor?
No, it's not going to share about the feasible successor information with its neighbor in its update message. Why it will share the backup path? It will share the main path with its neighbor. Why it will share the backup path that I have a backup path also? Why it will share? It use the backup path in its topology table, but not going to share with its neighbor.
Okay.
Okay. So you can see. Let's come to the R1. When I suppose I just use the command no network 10.1.2.0 and no network 10.1.3.0, you can verify do show IP EIGRP topology. There will be only single entry in topology table regarding the 12 network information. Oh, sorry. Actually, no network 10.1.2.1 with wildcard mask 0.0.0.0. That's the command I used that time. And 3.0. I just disable the EIGRP process on
Network.
all the loopbacks. So you can verify do show IP EIGRP.
Never. Topology.
So there is only single prefix information. And what is the mean of P over here?
Passive.
It's a passive. Passive means it's running. There is no problem over here if it's passive.
Okay.
Okay. You will see the active also. You can see the query, you can see the reply, query status, SIA, stuck in active, which is okay. So okay, now if we want to okay, regarding the same, you can verify over the R2 there will be no prefix information regarding the 10.1.1.0, 10.1.2.0, 10.1.3.0 because they are no longer available in R1's topology table. Do show IP route. Clear? Okay, but you can check on the R1. Do show IP route. All prefix information are available. Hence network. But
Yeah.
it's not coming in its EIGRP topology table. Do show IP
Okay.
EIGRP topology table. Okay, so that's why R1 is not sharing its these prefix information to whom its neighbor are.
Okay. So it will share only the successor.
Yes.
So
Okay,
okay.
you can
In the
verify it using the network command. I'm using the network
yeah.
command 10.1.1.0. I can use this command also. Network command 10.1.2.0. I hope it's clear to you what is the use of
Yes.
network command
Yes.
10.1.3.0. Clear? Okay, guys.
Yes.
Let's verify. Do show IP EIGRP.
GRP
Sorry, EIGRP topology.
topology table.
Here you can see the successor information. Who's its successor? Okay.
Okay.
And it will share the successor information only. You can verify. Do show IP route like
Route.
EIGRP. Clear to you guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Clear. Now many more things are coming in the classic mode. Okay. Do you know about feasibility condition as we discussed?
Yeah. Feasibility condition. Yes.
Yes, sir.
RD should be lesser than the feasible distance.
Yeah.
RD
RD of your
should be
backup path should be less
Back
than
up at the
should be
feasible distance of
less than
successor.
FD of
successor.
why we use this feasibility condition. Why? What is the requirement of it?
For the second backup path. If primary fails, we have a secondary. In order to become the secondary,
Just,
we should match the
just suppose,
feasibility
just,
condition.
just suppose. I'm just taking an example. Suppose R1 is there, R2 is there, R3 is there, suppose R4 is there. Okay. Now what happens? Suppose there is a network running like 30.1.1.6. Okay. This 30 prefix will advertise by its neighbor. So suppose R2 receive 30.1.1.0 prefix information.
Okay.
For this, it's just calculate at FD and calculate an RD. Suppose the RD it's like 100, FD it's like 250. Okay. Here it's also receive R4 also receive the same prefix information regarding the 30 prefix 30.1.1.0. At the end,
RD.
FD would be like suppose 4, just suppose, and RD it's like 100. Okay. These 30 prefix will receive over here and will receive
Yes.
30.1.1. Suppose I just calculated the FD. It's like 350 and RD for this it's like regarding that prefix I'm calculating the FD and FD it's like 350 and RD would be 250.
250.
Okay.
Suppose I'm receiving the same prefixes on R1 30.1.1.0. So for this prefix, I will calculate FD and
RD.
RD. Suppose FD is like my 450. Just suppose. And RD would be
400.
400. The FD of its neighbor. Okay. So please let me know, will this prefix or this path will become my backup path or not?
No,
No. Right. Because of feasibility condition. What it
yeah.
will say, RD of the backup path should be less than FD.
FD
But over here, RD is 400 and FD of the successor is 350,
350
which is not following that condition.
condition.
So it's not going to become the backup path.
Backup path.
But it would be good if it's become the neighbor path, right?
So we can change the yeah.
No. I'm not going to change anything.
Anything.
Just
Yeah.
suppose normally, like normal human beings, why I'm using this condition? If normally it's become the backup path, it would be good for us.
Yes.
Why I'm not expecting it as a backup path? Might be some negative point behind this. If I just use this path as a backup path, might be some negative point will be there. Hello?
I didn't
Yes,
get
sir.
this
Yes, sir.
negative point, no?
Yes. And now we need to understand why we use these feasibility.
This feasibility condition.
Why we make this? Okay. Course. Actually, feasibility condition is the loop avoidance mechanism of EIGR.
Mm-hmm.
It is used as loop avoidance mechanism. You know how EIGR, yes, feasibility condition is used to avoid the loop in this loop. You know how? Let's check it. Okay. So to understand this, let's come to the find file. Suppose my scenario is like this. It's an important question, guys, regarding the interviews. Please keep in mind, you can note down anywhere. Okay. What is the loop avoidance mechanism in EIGRP? It's a most important question. Could be asked in any kind of interviews. Okay. Suppose my scenario is like this. R1, R2, R3. There are so many interview questions. I already shared it with you. And when we continue the topic, according to this topic, we'll share the interview question. You can note down. Okay. So keep them set. Suppose there is a network running of 30. Regarding that, 30.1.1.0. What the R3 will do when I just enable the EIGRP on all the interfaces, that prefix will come in its EIGRP table. Like you can verify over the R1. Let's check the topology table. Prefixes are coming in topology table. There is some FD value, which I calculated for 10.1.1.0.
1.0. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just taking an example. Suppose it's using the FDS 100. Okay, there will be no RD because it's directly connected to me. You can verify over here also. Is there any RD? No,
No.
because it's
No.
directly connected. Okay. So what I will do, I will share this topology in this prefix information, which come in my topology table. So R3 receive that prefix information. 1.1.6. It will calculate an FD and it will calculate an RD. Suppose the FD is like 250 and RD it's like 100, and it will update its routing table that 30.1.1.0 coming via, suppose I'm just uh, using the IP address like 12.1.1. over here, 12.1.1.2 over here, 23.1.1.2 over here, and 23.1.1.3 over here. It's like my local. Okay.
Okay.
So the prefixes is the prefixes will stored via 23.1.1.3. Clear? There will be some AD like 90 and metric like 250. Is there any doubt how it updates
In
its
R2.
routing table on R2?
Okay. And R2, yeah, it's next hop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then R2 will advertise its prefix which come in its topology table to whom? Its neighbor R1.
Sniper.
So R1 just receive 30.1.1.0 prefix, and it will calculate regarding the same FD and RD. Okay, FD would be, just suppose I calculated like 300, and RD would be 250. Clear? So what the R1 will do? R1 will update its routing table like there is a directly connected. Oh, sorry. D means
30.
I'm receiving the prefix from EIGRP
AGRP
30.1.1.0.
via
Okay, via 12.1.1.2.
12.1.1.2. AD 90 250.
Okay, so AD would be 90 and metric would be 250. Any doubt regarding this?
No.
No.
No? Okay, now you need to understand. Just suppose R1 share its topology information regarding R2. R1 is sharing its topology table to whom? R1. And R1 will share only the successor information. So R1 having the only successor regarding the 30 prefix.
Yes.
R2 having the only successor regarding that prefix, and R3 having the only successor regarding that. So both the R1 will share. R1 will share its 30 prefix information in its, which is come in its topology table. Okay.
Yeah.
So suppose it's sharing 30 prefix information like this. Okay. So suppose it's routing table and it's R2 is routing table. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And it's sharing the information regarding the 30 prefix. So suppose it's receives the 30 prefix information 30.1.1.0. Regarding the same, it will calculate like FD and
RT.
RD. FD would be, suppose it's stored in the R1 is 30, so
R1.
it would be like 400.
Amit, 1 second. So, for example, if R1 is sending the prefix information to R2,
Yes.
this FD and RD, where it will calculate? See, when you're
In topology
when you're
table, it will calculate its FD and RD, and when it shares the prefix information, it will share the metric value also.
okay,
So RD, the FD of this one will become its RD
okay.
as we discussed over here and
Yeah,
over
okay,
here.
yeah.
Okay. I'm just performing the loop. It's sharing its neighbor. It just suppose there is another router which is also RD. Just think like this.
Hmm.
Okay. Now it will calculate FD and RD. So RD is 350. Okay. Now think respectively to the R2. What happened? I just receiving the same prefixes. FD is 250 and FD is 400. So this one will become our successor, which is right. Clear? Now,
Mm.
what I want, a backup path. For backup path, there is a
We need to
feasibility
the
condition.
condition
RD must be less than
less than FD
FD
of
of
successor. Successor.
so if there is performing loop like this, in that scenario, RD always be less than equal to less than 2 FD of success. You can verify RD and FD of the success. If suppose there is no condition like this, then what the R2 will do? R2 will make it as
Backup.
feasible
Feasibility
successor
success.
backup path. Okay. Then suppose this prefix goes down. Okay. This prefix goes down. Then R3 will generate a query message to whom? R2
Yeah,
regarding 30 prefix information.
to specific
Like
information.
suppose my prefix 30 goes down. If you installed that prefix, why using
Yes.
me? Please remove it. R2 will
From
check it's coming from R3. So what it will do? It will remove that
remove it
prefix from
from
its routing table.
table.
Then it will
Yes.
check its topology table. Actually, there is a two use of
Query
query
messages.
message. Like it's also asking the same prefix information regarding the same prefix information, 30 prefix information to whom R1. Do you have any another route regarding the same? Yes, it's having a backup path. So it
Yeah,
will provide him like, yes, I have
a backup path.
30.1.1.0 prefix is connected via me. So you can give it to me. 23.1.1.2 and it will
Oh
calculate
yes.
some FD
FT and RT.
and
Yes.
RD. RD
That
would
time.
be like 400 and FD would be like 550, just suppose. Clear? So it will install the same prefix information regarding the 30.1.1.0. It's connected via 23.1.1.2. AD value 90 and metric 550. Okay, now suppose there is a user want to perform the communication to whom? 30. It will
39.
forward its data
It will
to
forward to
R1
R2.
and R1 will check its R3 and R3 will check its routing table. It's coming via 23.1.1.2. So it will forward your data to whom? R2. R2 will check its routing table.
Table.
It's coming, it's receiving via R1.
Again, it will forward to R2. Again, R
Clear? So might be
Okay.
there is a chance to perform the loop.
loop.
So feasibility condition is used as a loop avoidance mechanism. Clear to you guys?
So,
Yeah,
okay.
Brian. Any doubt you can ask.
Um,
Yes, ask me. Just try to ask.
so what's really the the sole purpose, the importance of this mechanism
To avoid the loop.
to avoid a loop. Eh?
Yes, to avoid the
Yeah.
loop. So
That's why we have a feasibility
that type
condition.
of loop could not be formed. That's why we use the feasibility condition. Now clear?
Yeah.
So,
Your many of the topics are belong to the CCI actually. We just covered this topic. It's good. It's interesting, right?
it's really interesting. These are things that didn't even cover in the CCNA.
You already covered in CCNA these things.
No, I was just, it was not too detailed like it's now. We just talk of the all the conditions, feasibility conditions, but we didn't really go
But
deeper into it.
actually, at that time you are studying CCNA, which is associate level. Now you are studying professional level. I'm teaching you as expert level.
Mm,
So the
Clear?
main concept of loop avoidance, like because of the feasibility condition, to avoid the loop.
EIGRP.
Yeah,
The loop
exactly.
avoidance mechanism of EIGRP. You will see many of the interviews, it's asked from the interview. It's a common question. Okay, guys, I think it's enough for today. Okay,
Okay.
and what we can do, we can start. Actually, there are two messages which we need to
Stuck in
discuss.
active.
Yeah, there is a condition stuck in active.
Stuck in active query and stuck in active reply.
Yes, it's also an important question. Uh, it's not your part according to the syllabus, but it's an important question.
So is this stuck or stuck?
Stuck.
Stuck, not
Oh,
stack. Stuck.
okay.
It's just stuck. When you, it's like you stuck when I teach you about split horizon.
Okay.
I'm just joking. It's like same. Any doubt? Any query?
Mm.
No? So we can continue from tomorrow.